Hello everybody. Today I am going to attempt to trim my grapevines. We live in a home that's over 130 years old, I want to say, and we've had grapevines in our yard that have been here quite a while. I mean, they were here way before we were, and we've never really done anything with them, and this year I'd kind of like to do something with them. So I did some research because I'm not a gardener and I kind of want to get into that more this year. So I looked to try and see how you're properly supposed to trim the grapevines, because so far we've just used it for like shade and covering our pergola and letting the kids play in it as a fort. They are pretty overgrown everywhere. I've never really like formally trimmed them. So I'm gonna attempt to thin that out today. So, and anyway, I am not an expert on this. I just figured I'd make a video since I was out here doing this, and I'm sure there's plenty of other people that move into a situation that are like, oh great, grapevines, what do I do with them? And if you have grapevines too and you don't really know how to prune them, Washington State University online has a really good article. Actually, that's where I got my information. It was the easiest for me to understand and read on how to trim these and prune them. So if you go on Washington State University's website, they've got a really nice article on how to prune grapes from the time if you get them from like baby grapevines to the time like if you move into a house that has established grapevines. So I'd recommend that article. It seemed the easiest to understand for me. So easier the better, because I don't have a green thumb, so we'll see how this goes. Piece of this branch that's over here, this must have been dead, so I sawed it off here. Didn't know what else to do. So from the quick material I've read, you are supposed to have like a trunk. So I'm gonna assume this is like our main trunk. So what you're supposed to do is kind of trim it like T-shaped. So you want these big trunks, and then you want essentially two branches, like one going one way, one going another way. So last year I tried to trim it a little bit. It went a little bit better. We got quite a few grapes, but the bees were a problem last year, or the wasps. So this year I'm gonna attempt to cut them properly and see if we get any grapes or if we're able to harvest and do anything with them. In years previous, I made the mistake, I didn't know anything about these, so I cut like some of the big chunks of branch and it started like gushing water right away, and I was really scared. So I had like some tree tape, taped it up so that it stopped leaking, but it leaked for days and days and days. So I know enough not to make that mistake, not to cut those big branches, and I tried to do it the proper way this year. This is kind of what I'm working on this weekend because it's such a beautiful weekend where we live. And I guess it's best to trim your grapevines in February, March, and sometimes they said as late as early April. It is the end of March. So here's what I've got so far. So taking you through kind of what I read. Here are some trunks here. I don't want to cut these because this is kind of like the size of the one that I cut the one year, and it just started spurting water everywhere and just kept doing it for days. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm just going to kind of let them be as they are. I'm not going to try to trim any of these down unless I know they're dead. They're not going to do anything. Well, so this one I followed up. Branches off here and it branches off here. So I followed this one and I cut all the little growths from last year off. As you can see, any little growths, like here's some dead grapes that's attached to one of the like branches or like this. So it looked like this before. So as you can see, like I went up and I cut off all the old growth from last year. So it kind of looks similar to this branch with like dead grapes and little vines sprouting off of it. Don't make the mistake of cutting something this size like I did last year or the year before, because it will spurt water. So just cut them down. You want it to look like a T shape. So here's the trunk, T shape, and then just follow this one and just cut off all the old growth and then just leave it. So I'm gonna go around and do that. Anything that's dead, brittle, anything with old dead grapevines on it, this is not gonna grow again this year, so you wanna get rid of that and trim it down to like, I'm assuming this is one of the main branches that comes off. So I don't wanna do anything to that one. So I'll just trim anything that's like sticking off of this one, because that's old growth. And we'll just see what happens. So stay tuned, I got a long ways to go. So the tools I have here, this little pruning guy, this is really nice and sharp, and cuts off these little growths from the year before. This is nice for ones that are like this size. It cuts them really quick and clean. And then I also use this one for bigger vines, or if I can't reach as far, this is good. You can get like a really thick branch for this. Like you could probably cut something like this, although I'm not going to because I learned my lesson the time before that I did that. But pretty much this longer trimmer and then the little hand trimmer I like, and that's pretty much it. So I kept this one looked healthy. So as you can see, it goes up there. I cut off all the old shoots, and then trailing back down here where it joins, went back up this way, and then I'm gonna work on trimming this side. And it's significantly less in here. You can see where I stopped. I'll continue tomorrow. So this is probably gonna take me the whole week because I don't want to spend a whole day doing this. It's beautiful out and I'd rather do other stuff than do this. But I know it's gotta get done. Cross your fingers. Hopefully we get some grapes this year and don't get attacked by bees. And if you have a toddler, you can get them involved because they can help you clean up the sticks.
I get the pliers.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, that's how to pick up.
You're helping pick up the sticks? Thank you.
Oh, help please.
Okay. I'll probably pick grapes or harvest them at night because of the wasps. I'm thinking of some different ideas so I don't encounter the wasps because they were really bad last year. I couldn't even get close to the grapes to like touch them. I'd like to see your grapevines and have some ideas on what you do with them. So don't make the mistake I did. Don't trim the big ones, the trunk looking ones. And we'll see how this goes. Follow me for, we'll see what happens in the summertime. So yeah, get outside, challenge yourself to do something new this year. Grow some herbs. Trim up those grapevines if you have some grapevines. See if you can make something cool out of them. So yeah, get outside. The fresh air is so good and it feels so good. Yeah, bye-bye.